Good morning, everyone. How are you guys? Excellent, excellent. As we get into it, let's do some quick introductions and we'll start talking and see how we can engage the crowd in fun ways. Sound good? Sounds amazing. Awesome. So really quickly, guys, Joseph Dressler, nice to meet you. I work at Adform. If you're a brand in the room and you're running programmatic media, you're likely coming up against a challenge that you're just seeing become bigger, which is obviously cookieless. What we don't realize is how much media wastage is happening because you're over-frequencing and under-reaching. We have a way to quantify that and help you, and I will just stop at that. Because the more important person here is Francisco. Francisco, why don't you introduce yourself?
Hi, everyone. I'm Francisco Bram. I've been with Albertsons Companies, which is this conglomerate of brands, supermarket brands, for about 3 years almost. And it's been a fun journey. I lead marketing for the organization. And as you probably saw in the news, we're going through this potential Kroger merger.
Potentially, couldn't.
So a lot going on. And today I'm just excited to talk to you about some of the things we've been working on and how do we sort of prioritize customer well-being and how do we invest marketing dollars towards that.
So just out of curiosity, for everyone in the room, we all likely shop at a grocery store. Maybe there's another way that you get your food, I'm not sure, but we probably all shop at a grocery store. Who thinks about it as just like utility? You don't really think about the store and how it's set up and all the other things you can do for it. So probably fair that most of us like go in, you buy your goods, and you kind of walk out. You're saying no? How do you think about it?
It's an experience. I remember when Wegmans opened up their flagship store in upstate New York, it was like all about how do you bring in-room or in-house dining with products, how do you teach them to make this at home so you can keep them coming back, and you position the store as like a collection of experts.
Perfect transition to our conversation today, so thank you. It's good you were set up so nicely. I'll buy your time afterwards. So Francisco, let's talk about that, right? Albertsons, 22 brands, right, across a massive swath of the US. But talk to us a little bit about the experience that Albertsons is trying to bring to life from a consumer perspective, the conscious consumer.
Yeah, I have another question. How many of you actually shop at only one grocery store brand? You're loyal. We want more of you. But honestly, not even do I. I work for Albertsons Company. And it's a reality. There's a lot of competition in the market. We have a lot of brands, as you can see here from this one page. We are distributed across most of the US. And we are fairly big in terms of the footprint and how many customers we serve. We serve 55 million households in the country. We have pharmacies, we have fuel stations. And we are roughly about $79 billion company, which is quite big for a grocery chain. Now, what you probably realize is that there's a lot of competition. There's a lot of different options, and you normally choose based on convenience, what's closest to me, because a carrot is a carrot is a carrot, right? Like I just need to get carrots, I'm going to go to the nearby supermarket store. But also because maybe pricing or you have a specific coupon that you want to use. And so it's become a space where there's a lot of competition and people are mostly competing on transactions. People are more and more digitally engaged. And it's becoming sort of like this world where you're not really connecting to your grocery store. It's all digital, you get your coupons and you go where it's most convenient to you. And so we know that on average, a customer shops at 5 different brands. Even a loyal customer will shop at 3, 4 different brands. And so how do we, instead of trying to constantly go after new customers, how do we improve the relationship with existing customers, build trust, move away from transactions, and improve lifetime value and frequency of purchase, and give them a reason to miss out if they decide to go to our grocery store. And that's sort of the journey we've been on, and that's probably the topic of today.
Yeah, absolutely. So let's think about the title of the session, right, which is all about health and wellness. Yeah. Right? We're wearing watches, we're wearing rings, we're wearing necklaces, all that are telling us more things about our body. But the food intake is incredibly important. So Francisco, help us translate how is Albertsons thinking about being not just a utility of food, but a helpful purveyor of food for the healthy customer.
Yeah, we have a panel of 150,000 customers we engage with frequently. And a common theme kept coming up in our sort of conversations with customers, and it was around well-being. And they want their local grocery store to play a bigger role in their health and well-being. We heard customers saying, you know, it's personal, what works for one person doesn't work for another. So at times what they see is that these are the foods that are healthy for you, but it doesn't really work for someone who has a peanut allergy or someone who is trying to eat low glycemic foods. So how do we make it more personal? And then we also heard that we're destined to fail if we try to meet everyone else's standards, meaning if we go in saying, this is what healthy looks like, most customers give up before they even start. And so the idea is we have to make it so that it feels inclusive, that well-being is the small, consistent steps that lead to great leaps in health. And it's about the journey and not the destination. And so we ended up sort of working through a lot of customer feedback, and we co-created a new brand and a new digital experience for customers. 10,000 customers were involved in the co-creation of this new brand and this new experience. And so we changed our company's purpose. Today, it's to inspire well-being as part of the company's purpose. He wasn't there 2 years ago before I joined, and the team. So today, it's about bringing people together around the joys of food and to inspire well-being. But we also define well-being a little differently, and it was, again, based on the feedback from 10,000 customers. For some people, well-being is healthcare. Other people, well-being means I just want to have more mental health space. I just want to be able to be more active. For other people, it's community, it's love. And so we wanted to build a brand and an experience that holds true to those 5 pillars, which is nutrition, healthcare, love, community, as well as wellness. And so we ended up coming up with this new brand.
Let me ask you a quick question for all the brand marketers, and actually everyone who's been in this industry for a while. We've talked about changing mission statements, right? That's not something you or your company wakes up on morning. It's like, oh, let's just add a few words and everything's gonna be fine. Like, walk us through, what was that process like?
Yeah, it's easy when customers are actually demanding. And then customers really said, I want my grocery store to play a bigger role in the household when it comes to nutrition and well-being. We took that data and we said, if you truly want to move away customers from transactions to trusted relationships, we have to change how we internally sort of build new solutions, how we internally think about the customer. And so we changed this sort of purpose statement, but we also thought about very purposefully about the brand that we wanted to launch. So we came up with this name, Sincerely Health. And the idea of Sincerely is we wanted customers to feel like we come from a place of sincerity, like we're honest about the well-being journey. Our associates, when they're in store and they have a badge that says Sincerely, in their subconscious, that is affecting the way they actually engage with customers. They are more sincere in their approach. They feel like I have to live up to this purpose as well. And we built an entire new platform grounded on those insights. And so it was easy to change internally because everyone felt like we are, in fact, competing on price, and we should be competing on offering the best customer experience. And if well-being is what our customers are asking for, let's reorganize. We built an entire new division just to build this and hire a bunch of new people in 2 years, and we launched this just 12 months ago.
So tie that together, because obviously as a company, anyone you can launch a new app or a new feature or a subdivision or anything like that, how do you build that credibility with the audience?
Yeah.
Just because you've built it doesn't mean they'll come, even though Field the Dream says it will.
Yeah. So it starts with the experience. Number one, it's free. We don't charge customers. We don't use their data. We don't sell their data. It's a HIPAA-compliant platform. That was clear from the beginning. We have to make sure, even though we talk about nutrition doesn't tend to be a healthcare-specific data point. We wanted to make sure customers feel like this data is secure. It's in an environment that it's your own environment. So we ended up coming up with a bunch of partnerships. One of the partnerships was a company out of Europe, and they've done a lot of data analysis. They actually have over 1 billion transactions. They're an actuarial science company. And we're able to come up with a health score. It's almost like a FICO score. So you come in, you join the platform, you answer a survey, and they will give you a rating from 0 to 1,000 on the 7 dimensions of well-being, which is sleep, nutrition, mental health. And then with that score, which is illustrated there on the slide, you can actually tap into any of the elements that you're under-indexing on the average, and we'll give you recommendations what you do to improve it. So if you're low in activity, take 10,000 steps goal for the end of the week, and if you achieve that, we'll give you grocery coupons, exclusive grocery coupons. Again, we're not charging, we're in fact giving customers money to improve their health score. We built a nutritional insights platform, which I'll talk more in a little later, because it's using AI as well. We incorporated all of our pharmacy business into the app as well. So you can schedule a vaccine, you can refill prescriptions, we'll give you prescription reminders. We also let you know if certain medication interactions may impact you as a person, as an individual. And then you can essentially connect a device. You can connect an Apple Watch, and you can earn rewards every time you close rings, which is one of the ways we actually ended up building credibility. So we built credibility in 3 different ways. One, we built the platform free. Number 2, we also come from a place where we already have a strong pharmacy background. We have a lot of pharmacies, we have pharmacists. Pharmacists are being used in the platform, and we offer at times free consultations. We built a telehealth platform in the app. And people can, trust the fact that pharmacists are the #1 trusted profession in the world, based on a lot of surveys, and the doctor comes second. And it is because it's the most accessible healthcare provider you can find. You don't even need an appointment. You come up to the pharmacy, talk to the pharmacist, and he's willing to spend time with you. And so secondly,
Wait, Francis, go really fast. So pharmacists first.
Pharmacists first.
Doctors a close second.
Yeah.
Where do lawyers fall?
I don't think they made it to the top 10. And secondly, we partner with USDA. We're not experts in nutrition. We sell food, and we want to sell the best food for you. So we went to the USDA, and we partnered with them by incorporating My Plate guidelines into the app. So let's say Francisco shops at Albertsons. We now have access to 200 transactions that Francisco has done. And now I can tell Francisco that you're under-indexing in protein, and here's some products to improve your next basket without increasing the total cost of the basket that will help you improve protein intake. So here's a little video of how that
Meet
works.
Natalie, a busy mom of 2. She wants to feed her family delicious and nutritious meals, but today's food landscape can be hard to navigate. She needs help getting them the nutrients they need. After signing up for Sincerely Health at her local Albertsons, Natalie can visit the nutritional page to see how balanced her shopping is. Once she adds her household details, Nutrition Insights analyzes Natalie's grocery purchases to pinpoint gaps in their diet, allowing her to efficiently evaluate if they're getting the recommended amount of all 5 food groups, while balancing the amount of essential versus occasional foods they eat each week. With Nutrition Insights, Natalie quickly learns that her family's diet lacked vital vegetables and whole grains. Armed with these insights, she creates nutritional goals, like eating more whole grains. She also selects low sodium and peanut-free preferences for her husband's health goals and daughter's peanut allergy. After setting specific parameters, she quickly searches for food and yummy recipes that support her family's goals. Each week, she works to balance their diet. She earns points that can be exchanged for grocery coupons. A balanced diet doesn't happen overnight, but with the right tools, you and your family can eat better. We're here to help make these decisions a little easier and a lot more rewarding. Download the Albertsons app and sign up for Sincerely Health today.
So think about it, Francisco, as a household of 3. I can add that information in. I can say Francisco wants to improve blood pressure. My wife needs to lower cholesterol. I can add all that information in, and then we will look at your basket and we will flag things that probably do not align with your goals. And we will offer alternative products that can support your goals. And again, we do this without increasing the basket. And in fact, if you take those steps, you get points. You can redeem those points for discounts at checkout. So that's a second way of getting credibility. The third way was with Apple. Apple has already built credibility in the health space with their Apple Watch. A lot of people use the Apple Watch to close rings, the activity rings, the stand rings, and we said, if we really mean, if we're sincere about caring for customers' well-being, let's reward customers for closing those rings, even though it's nothing to do with our platform. If they connect their Apple Watch to us, and they're walking through the store, and they close that ring, at the checkout, you have a grocery discount. So we ended up partnering with Apple. We launched this campaign a few months ago, and here's a little video of that as well.
Every day, you jump.
Connor. Got it. I'll try it again.
Every day, you jump through hoops. You put more do in your to-dos. You are on the move, and those moves should be rewarded with Albertsons Sincerely Health and Apple Watch. Every day can lead to big reward.
I'll skip through it, but essentially, you'll get a ton of discounts, and you get a ton of opportunity to stay active and fit. All you need to do is connect your device. Again, we're not using that data. It's a HIPAA secure environment. We're not selling that data. So it really helps to show our commitment, builds credibility, because people trust Apple. It's one of the highest trust brands in the world. They trust the USDA. They trust pharmacists. So that's the way we count the data for it.
I just want you to double down on one thing off obviously in the back room, we were talking about the idea of cars, right? Tracking consumer behaviors and stuff like that, which where you are more specifically. So just double down on that one more time, right? Apple's a massive corporation who clearly has an army of lawyers, right? You guys, FDA, security, data privacy is all important. So how did that come together to make sure the consumer knows like nothing nefarious is happening, given the fact that you're connecting a watch with all of my health information to food and that's internet?
Yeah, this was really important from the get-go that we wanted to build this platform that really values privacy and data protection. So when you open our Safeway or Albertsons app, any of our grocery store apps, you start off as a hospital. But the moment you want to go into Sincerely Health, you go into a HIPAA secure environment. And so we request you to sort of authenticate your Face ID or to a specific code that you want to provide because you become an individual, right? Health is personal, it's individual. So you're no longer shopping for the household, you're now in the individual health journey. And we wanted to make sure that is HIPAA secure. We needed to find partners like Apple who value privacy. They're very outspoken about what happens in your phone stays in your phone. They use that a lot here in Vegas. And so we knew that they value privacy. Their Apple Health Kit is also secure, and so that's how we connect that information. It's connected to their Apple Health. So that information exchange is all secure as well.
So you've done a great job bringing to life how Albertsons and the overall entity is bringing health and wellness right to the market, trying to be different, more than just the utility, more than the experience that we shared even earlier. So now as a marketer, which is what you are, right? How do you bring this to the consumers? How do you tell that story? What's the message? What's the mediums? Like walk us through that concept.
Yeah, it was, I came from Uber, and Uber doesn't have physical retail stores. So for me, this was a new space. At Uber, we're all digital. And then coming to a place where 80% of our customers shop in store, it was important that we think about that in-store experience. The moment you get to the parking lot, what is the first message we want to call out? Then you come in through the store and you have the sliding doors. Then you have your carts, so there's a placement there. We actually built an entire journey. The moment you land, we teased you. Something is new, something is up.
Teasing in a good way, right?
In a good way. And then you walk inside and then there's another message on your cards. And then you start getting intrigued about what's going on here. And then we have associates wearing badges, ask me about my health score. And then somebody was just adding a number, 750, and people were asking me, what was this about? So we found ways to keep the conversation going. You go into the produce area, and we talk about the value of, for example, an avocado in terms of healthy fats. We talk about omega-3s when we go to the, and people start wondering, what's this Sincerely Health giving me all these tips and advices? But of course, we still have an own channel platform, which is the most effective platform. We use paid media, we use earned media. So it's a truly omni 360 program, but we wanted to make sure the message is built upon the previous one, and it doesn't feel like it's always saying the same thing. So that was one of the goals. How do we tell that story, thinking about the different journeys?
So the classic storytelling that I think every marketer is trying to get a hold of, which is no brand, unless there's a value proposition offer, right? Everything should build on top of each other.
That's right.
Is that fair?
And it was very complicated to do because you may start in the store first, someone may start in the app first. So how do you think about those different journeys?
I mean, hit you with the question that I asked a panelist earlier this morning. So how do you think about measurements in that perspective? Right? Because obviously, like you said, it's complicated. Is it just the app, the downloading of the app is the end result? But how do you know kind of what mediums are influencing the in that perspective?
Yeah, similar to any other company, we leverage data a lot to optimize our channels. For us, it's important in store, for example, that our signage that you see over there has a QR code. And each sign has a unique QR code. So we know exactly what sign you scan first. So that was important to us because we wanted to know if you're scanning more in the aisle with aisle blades or if it's in the pharmacy counter or if it's at the entry of the store. We also wanted to make sure that as you are online and you're going through the different channels, that we are partnering with the right vendors to follow you in a compliant way. So using the identified information, I know you and I talked about LiveRamp is one of our partners, but going beyond just LiveRamp, right? So thinking through, how do I make sure that I know how Francisco is engaged, the multiple touch points, in a confident way that I know that I can do multi-touch attribution confidently. And then we use Ipsos, another of our partners, to do marketing mix modeling. And what we do is we bring all of the sales data from the stores, we bring in all of the market trends like brand inflation, everything else, and then we also share all the marketing spend. And that model uses a linear regression analysis and tells us with 98% confidence. You can actually predict sales back all the way back to 2020 with 98% confidence. So it tells us exactly the ROAS by channel, by tactic, the marginal ROAS, it tells us the marketing ROI, and we're able to then, for example, fine-tune and double down on some tactics like video, which are performing really well, and others were not performing so well, like the circular that we send in the mail, for example. So we're able to do that. We have weekly reviews of this data. The marketing mix modeling is done once a quarter.
It's funny that you mentioned Ipsos, they're a partner of ours, and we realized that one of the things that empowers them to be so successful is the log-level data, at least from a programmatic perspective, to understand each individual consumer and what they've actually been exposed to how many times. 3 in social, 4 in CTV, 2 in display, et cetera, and allows them to help you guys optimize. So it's fascinating. One of the things on this board talks about retail media, right? We're at Shop Talk. Retail media is always a topic that people want to talk about. Help the room understand, obviously Albertsons runs a very successful retail media business today, which is great. That's the other side of your business, it's not what you handle specifically. But how is that partnership starting to help out with Albertsons with overall marketing efforts?
Yeah, we heard from customers in the survey. We run surveys every month. And by survey, it's not a customer survey, it's actually a research study that we do. And we've heard that customers appreciate advertising if it feels like contextually relevant to the moment that they're joining. So if you're trying to shop for a particular product, and certainly we feature you an ad for that product we know and other customers like you like as well, and it's now giving you $50 off. Customers really love that. They feel like this is improving our overall experience. And now that we built this environment, think about somebody on a diabetic journey. They're looking for low glycemic foods. Now CPG brands, instead of trying to just promote general awareness of their products, they can actually be very personalized and targeted and say, we have low glycemic foods, and we're ready to give a unique offer and discount. And think of Dexcom, a glucose monitor device, right? Now we can come and offer unique exclusive offers to our customers who are going through that experience. So the way we look at it is advertising is a great opportunity to bring brands, customers, and us together in a win-win-win situation, where we win, the customer wins, and the brand wins as well.
And what's nice, the obvious, right, is that it's being funded by the CPG in that perspective. So to your dominant point, right, it's raising the overall bar, but you don't even have to go and get incremental money from your CFO, your president, or your CEO.
But everything is very curated. Like there were brands who wanted to work with us on this platform, and we said, no, it's just your mission or the particular product doesn't align with what we're trying to do. We stay very close to that mission. If it isn't improving well-being, if it isn't adding incremental value to that journey, we don't feel like it's worth its promotion.
Cool. All right, one of my last questions before we get to open up to the room. I don't think anybody's mentioned today, so let's do it with you guys, right? How are you using AI in this experience to kind of make it more personalized, better products, using the app, etc.?
We have a lot of things coming up with AI. I'll share what we just launched, which I think is exciting. We have 9,000 proprietary recipes in our platform. And you can access them, they're all shoppable with one click. So you can actually access those recipes, and then if you like them, and we can tailor those recipes based on your health goals, and you can shop it with one click. But what we just launched is the ability to actually, let's say you have a grandma recipe, and it's written down in paper, and you kind of feel like, oh, I can't take this with me to the grocery store every time. You can now take a picture of that recipe, through generative AI, we're actually creating a digital version of that recipe. We'll match all the ingredients and give you alternatives for those ingredients as well, in case you don't like a particular brand, there's another. With one click, you can add those ingredients to your cart, and then there's step-by-step instructions on your phone or tablet. And we've built in this ability because when you're cooking, your hands are dirty, right? You don't want to touch your phone. So you can actually wave your hand in front of the camera and the page flips, so you can look at the next step of the recipe as well. So super excited about this. Right now it has 95% customer satisfaction rate. People really love it. And I found it really...
high. 95 sounds like a good number.
It's a good number, and we just launched it. So we're excited because it's our first sort of true utilization application of AI, generative AI. We've been using AI in other elements like the nutritional insights, but generative AI is the first application.
Very, very cool. Francisco, anything else? If not, let's open up the room.
Okay, I guess I'll put it.
Oh, this is amazing. I'm Lauren Chesley from SiriusXM. I'm curious, I work in audio. Audio has such a companion part to the well-being journey, meditation, mindfulness. Curious what the evolution of your audio storytelling from a marketing perspective is looking like. Is that something you're venturing into? And how are you thinking perhaps to integrate into some things you're doing with this app and this function?
Absolutely. Audio is our third best performing channel based on marketing mix modeling. Yet we weren't. We're building this now, and it's not necessarily something super confidential because it's something that everyone does. But Albertsons has been a traditional retailer for a long time. Audio is really effective if, number one, you pick the right, of course, opportunities. It has to be complementary to the mindset. Like, you don't want to talk about war when you're trying to meditate, right? You don't want to talk about New York Times and latest reporting, right? You want to talk about something that helps and complements that journey. But the only way to really track the impact of audio is, in my mind, if you're able to build referral codes. And this platform has not had that in the past. So we're working towards that because for me it's important that we want to advertise at SiriusXM and we want to, let's say, pick Malcolm Gladwell's The Business History Podcast. Type in Malcolm at the end of checkout to get a discount, right? Today we don't have that type of capability. So to me, that's going to help us really measure more confidently the impact of audio. But it is our third largest investment for 2024. Number one is video, and then audio is number two.
Thank you.
Yeah, of course.
Mr. Cannon, from
I don't think I need a microphone being this close. Congratulations, this is a fantastic program. What has the adoption been as a percentage of your customer base?
just so everyone knows, the question was, what was the adoption been? Just as a data.
Yeah. I wish I could share with you the actual numbers, but in this environment with the merger, I can only share what's public knowledge, so I do have a slide on it. Our loyalty members, since we've launched, has increased by 17% to 38 million. Our app rating also went up. Digital sales, so what we found is 90 days prior to using Sincerely Health and 90 days after, the basket size has increased. And the frequency of those particular customers using the platform, shopping at our stores also increased. So actually it is driving more store visits and improving share of wallet, taking it away from other competitors. That's what we assume. And so we also, through the app, Sincerely Health has the most, outside of deals is probably the most commonly used feature in the app, but Sincerely Health has the most active base. People come in, they check on their goals, they want to add new goals. And we noticed 20% increase in monthly active users since we launched the platform, which is really exciting.
Taking share back from Instacart, right?
Yeah, well, that's the goal because Instacart, they're great partners as well, but in case you don't know, if you go to any of our stores on Instacart, you buy the same products, but you pay the market.
More? What?
So you can actually, you can get the same products directly from our store. We deliver. We have flash delivery under 30 minutes. We launched that as well about 5-6 months ago. So you can get under 30 minutes the items delivered up to 35 items. And there's no markup on the prices. It's the same prices as in store.
Guys, any last questions? Go for it.
Yeah, these are amazing results. I have a question for you. Have you noticed anything surprising about the way your customers are using the app? I mean, obviously you've seen some great success, but just things where you're like, oh, I didn't anticipate them using it for this duration, or in terms of change in habits of how they're buying certain products. I'm just curious if anything struck you as odd or interesting.
Yeah, what I can share is we always assume somebody who's digital is probably primarily digital, and they like to do e-commerce shopping, everything. And we found that customers using the app, they use it to improve the in-store experience. Such so that we built a new feature called Store Mode, where you go inside the store. This exists today, you can use it. And we know based on how you use our app, what you normally like to get, and we tell you right away, your favorite brand of paper towels is on aisle 3 in the store. If you go to another store, it's on aisle 10. So we actually are able to tell you, and then using augmented reality, if you hover over those products, it gives you a discount of the day as a bill for those products. We built that. We have about 4 to 5 million customers using that on a monthly basis because we noticed that people are not just digital, they're omni. They use the app to improve their in-store experience, and the same thing for what we built. So yeah, there was a big learning for us. We thought this is going to cater to digital first and savvy people, but no, they love going to the store, and they love that the app complements that experience.
I mean, Omni, right? After we all got through the pandemic, right? That mix of shopping is so critical. And it's funny, I was literally going to ask you based off his question the idea of what Home Depot built many, many years ago, which is the app that locates in the store itself. Because if anyone who's been to a Home Depot, right, you never know where everything is whatsoever. Now it's like aisle 17, bay 4 on the bottom. Like, oh, that's easy to find. So the fact that you build that for a grocery store, which is also equally as complicated, right? The few signs you have, not you, but everybody, right? This only tells you so much, but then like finding it down the aisle, so that's an awesome.
But also telling you exactly, we know you tend to shop these products. These are these products you tend to shop in this particular store.
That's awesome.
I thought that was more personalized.
Yeah, no, it's great. Cool. Well, thank you guys very much.
Thank you.